Hello friends, it's Rachel Archelaus and I'm gonna stay Rachel Archelaus in this video, but I thought it would be super fun to film after doing some Intimate Alien videos. And by the way, if you don't know Intimate Alien, she is another aspect of me that lives in a different dimension, in a different place, and she is so full of joyous wisdom that it is totally infectious. But today I wanted to talk about something that shifts for a lot of people who are on a spiritual journey or are awakening or just whatever you want to call it, living life these days basically. And that is the switch from ambition to creative drive. This happens to a lot of people where they're super ambitious most of their lives, they have goals, they know what they want out of life, they know where they're going, they work hard, and you know, sometimes that gets you what you want, sometimes it doesn't, but it's like an outward calling. It's an idea that there's something out there in life that you're going to. You're going to a certain job, a certain car, a certain kind of relationship, whatever it is, you have an idea and it's out there in front of you and you're like going toward it. Maybe it's a certain business. It's that ambition, it's that feeling like you're having to get somewhere. Oftentimes when you get into a more centered state, when you're more in the moment in your life, even if you don't realize that's what's happening, you kind of lose that and you feel like you don't know what you want. You don't know why you're feeling so lazy, as you would call it. It's just the passion's gone. It's like you're not sure what's getting you out of bed in the morning. You don't feel like doing anything. And in my opinion, that's because that shift from that outer focused pull is going inside. And so you're more in the moment, you're more aware of yourself, and the inner is what is more compelling. That creative drive, you might not know what that is even yet. So there's often a gap between that outward ambition where you do life because that's what you do, that's what you're grown up told. You know, you gotta have a goal, you gotta be heading towards something, you need this in your life in order to be right and normal. You lose that, and then there's kind of nothing in the middle. And then you find this thing in you that feels good. It's like this inner drive to find out who you are, to find out where your creative edges are. That is kind of what replaces the ambition in my book and what I've seen with my friends and clients and so forth. So making that switch can be difficult if you don't know that it's happening, because you just feel like you're lazy now, you're procrastinating, you don't want to do anything you used to do, because oftentimes you were doing that because you thought you had to. But now that you know, subconsciously at least, that you don't have to do anything in order to get somewhere, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, and in fact, doing something you don't want to do doesn't bring you to anywhere that you want to be. That is so important to know. And when you get into that zone of not going and doing, that's what you're realizing. You're realizing that that old way isn't actually bringing you anything you want. Wow, what a revelation. So now you go through this period of like detox of all of that, where you don't feel like doing much of anything, and that is totally okay. It's wonderful, it's necessary. You may feel like you're giving everything up. That's okay, it's often necessary. Whatever is really for you will come back to you. Trust me, I know. And then though, you get such a good place. Inner drive, that creative urge, the creative drive, it's so satisfying, because then you're like, well, what do I want to do? What do I feel like doing? What do I want to explore within myself? And it's a much more forgiving place. There's less judgment here. In fact, there's only judgment if you allow it to be there. There doesn't have to be any. And you get to really explore yourself. What's in there? What's in you? And what's in you is only in you. Instead of having this standard outer goal, now you have this inner thing that is completely unique to you. And so over the last few years, I've definitely been playing with this creative drive. That's brought me here, that's brought me to makeup with her, that's brought me to releasing several books. and really knowing like, wow, I feel really good when I'm writing. I feel really good when I'm publishing. I feel really good when I'm creating. I feel really good when I'm hiking, and so forth. And I realize what should be a priority in my life, like what feels the best. I can put more time into that. And the things that didn't feel good, I've let go of. And some of them have come back around. Like I said, it's really amazing. There can be a fear that you're gonna let go of something that you're gonna regret. I was definitely a little worried about that when I sold my RV earlier in the year. Everyone thought I was nuts. They thought I was crazy. They're like, you have this perfect, beautiful, amazing home. It's wonderful. And it was great. I loved it. But I knew in my heart that it just wasn't optimal. There were things that I would want to be different about it. I'd want it to be smaller, easier to drive, less expensive on gas. And I knew that it was possible to have what I wanted, because that's how life works. Whatever you want is absolutely possible. You just have to know that and allow it to be shown to you. And I ended up buying the perfect vehicle for me. I'm so happy with it. It's so much easier to travel and camp in, and I just love it so much. And even when I'm not camping in it, it's a great vehicle, kind of unlike the RV. And even though I was afraid to sell the RV, that deep down feeling, I knew it was great. And it's added to my creative expression of life. It's added to the ease of travel that I have now. And so overall, every area of my life has been positively affected. And the best part, of course, is that now I can fit it in the garage. So I just wanted to use that as a tiny, tiny example. But really seriously, following and finding that creative drive within you, even if it's not an art project, right? Maybe it's an RV, maybe it's traveling, maybe it's dominoes. I mean, it could be anything. Like, what is it inside of you that really wants to be expressed? That is so fulfilling and satisfying and leads you to a place of complete fulfillment in your life. It's just like, when that is why you get out of bed in the morning, when that is what is driving your day, when that's what's creating your schedule and who you're with, everything is joyful, everything is meaningful, and life is just, it's a completely different game rather than focusing on something outside of you. This path leads you through everything that you're looking for. It leads you to the people who are gonna gel with you the most. It leads you to the abundance that is coupled with that creative expression. It's multi-dimensional results at its best. So I hope this has kind of illuminated maybe the path for you of when you lose ambition, when you feel like you're not doing anything, to what is next. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. If you want to know more about us, Intimate Alien, whoever, just check us out, rachelarchelaus.com, intimatealien.com, and subscribe to this channel. And I will hopefully see you really soon. Super love. Bye.